Is this thing gone? Okay, it's on, folks. Hello and welcome in, and God bless y'all. Today, we're going to be reading the book of Psalms. We're going to be reading chapters 58, well, Psalms 58, 59, and 60. At least that's what projected. So, real right now, we're going to get into Psalm 58. Pray for the punishment of the wicked. For the music director said to Altashith, a miktam of David, do you indeed speak righteousness, ye gods? Do you judge fairly, you sons of mankind? No, in your heart you practice injustice. On earth you clear a way for the violence of your hands. The wicked have turned away from the womb. Those who speak lies go astray from birth. They have venom like the venom of a serpent, like a deaf cobra that stops in its ear, so that it does not hear the voice of charmers, or a skillful caster of spells. God, shatter their teeth in their mouth. Break out the fangs of their young lions, Lord. May they flow away like water that runs off. When he aims his arrows, may they be as headless shafts. May they be like a snail which goes along its line, like the miscarriage of a woman that never sees the sun. Before pots can feel the fire of thorns, he will sweep them away with a whirlwind, the green and the burning alike. The righteous will rejoice when he sees vengeance. He will wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. And people will say, there certainly is a reward for the righteous. There certainly is a God who judges on the earth. Bam, that's chapter 58. Show the light. You gotta turn on the light while you're reading. Sorry, Metro. My light. Let me fix on the cam. That's all the light I've had. Then this is all I can do, Metro, so I forgot to bring my what's called my lamp with me, so sorry. Alright, Metro, God bless you and welcome in. Royce, God bless you and welcome in. How's it going? So let's go with chapter 59. Prayer for rescue from enemies. Yeah, we gotta summarize 58 first. Prayer for the punishment of the wicked is 58. It compares the evil people like the young lions, and their words and evil acts like fangs. Let that sink in. Like this. They're compared to snakes, lions, and many of those predatory animals. So, um, so this prayer asks for those peoples to stop sinning, to be humbled, which is like shattering teeth, you know. That's what it is. God bless you and welcome in Royce and Stone. I'm doing all right. I'm a little tired, but I'm doing fine. Thank you, Stone. God bless you and welcome in. Xavier, God bless and welcome in. I reject your offer, but thanks anyways. If it sounds like I'm tired, it's just, I seemingly get tired all the time, it feels like. So, I do apologize. Alright, so let's get into Psalm 59, Prayer for Rescue from Enemies. For the music director, set to Al-Tashith, a miktam of David, when Saul sent men and they watched the house in order to kill him. Rescue me from my enemies, my God. Set me securely on high away from those who rise up against me. Rescue me from those who practice injustice and save me from men who have of bloodshed. For behold, they have set an ambush for my life. Fierce men attack me, not for my wrongdoing, nor for my sin, Lord. No, for no guilt of mine they run and take their stand against me. Stir yourself to help me and see, you Lord of armies, the God of Israel. Awake to punish all the nations. Do not be gracious to any who deal treacherously in wrongdoing. They run at evening, they howl like a dog, and prowl around the city. Behold, they gush forth with their mouth swords in their lips, where they say, Who hears? But you, Lord, laugh at them. You scoff at all the nations. Because of his strength I will watch for you, for God is my refuge. My God in his faithfulness will meet me. God will let me look triumphantly upon my enemies. Do not kill them, or my people will forget. Scatter them by your power and bring them down, Lord our shield, on account of the sin of their mouths and the words of their lips. May they even be caught in their pride and on account of curses and lies which they tell. Destroy them in wrath. Destroy them so that they will no longer exist, so that people may know that God rules in Jacob to the ends of the earth. They return at evening, they howl like a dog and prowl around the city. They wander about for food and then murmur if they are not satisfied. But as for me, I will sing of your strength. Yes, I will joyfully sing of your faithfulness in the morning. And you have been my refuge and a place of refuge on the day of my distress. My strength, I will sing praises to you, for God is my refuge, the God who shows me favor. That is Psalm 59. Who else have you got? Me, Joe, or Mayho. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but God bless you and welcome in. Alrighty, folks, that is Psalm 59. Another prayer of rescue. David was chased by Saul for absolutely no reason other than Saul just hated David because people saw him as or saw David as superior to Saul, and his ego was so big, and for that reason, he wanted to kill David. So that's why he wrote these psalms. So yeah. So David prayed to the Lord plenty for rescue. And for God is my refuge, and my God in his faithfulness will meet me. God will let me look triumphantly upon my enemies. That is verses 9 through 10. Um, Once you realize God is with you, you'll be faithful and wait on his answer and his rescue. If you are if you have nothing to look to, not God or anything, nothing will survive. Well, not even anything that isn't God, but not even your own screen can save you. You could just you'll just fall under the pressure. So call on God is the thing right here. So yeah. Oh, we got another person here. Happy Dog 226, day 31 of Spreading the Gospel Bible verse of the day. Deuteronomy 20:04 or 20 verse 4. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you victory. That is a perfect psalm. I'm going to pin that right there. Thank you, Happy Dog. God bless you and welcome in. That psalm goes well with Psalm 59 because you know what David is, praying about, right? He's praying for rescue, for, vindication. He's about to be killed by these people, and he's calling upon the Lord so that he may not be killed. All right, so that is one great verse right there, which connects to Psalm 59. So if you were there with David, if you told him this, he will obey. He will not be scared. Just like in Psalm 23, even though he walks in the valley of the shadow of death, he will not fear. So that's Psalm 59. All right, let's get into Psalm 60, grieving over defeat in battle, praying for help. For the music director, according to Shushan et Eduth, a miktam of David to teach. When he fought again with Aram Naharaim and Aram Zova, and Jove returned and killed 12,000 of Edom in the Valley of Salt. I hate these, well, not him. I don't like how we translate Israeli names or pronounce them. I'll be honest. There's a better way to pronounce them, but the way we say it in English, it makes it all the worse. I do apologize. Alright, Psalm 60. God, you have rejected us. God, you've broken us. You have been angry. Restore us. You have made the land quake. You have split it open. Heal its cracks for its ways. You have made your people experience hardship. You have given us wine to drink that makes us stagger. You have given a banner to those who fear you, that it may be displayed because of the truth, that your beloved may be rescued. Save us with your right hand and answer us. God has spoken in his holiness. I will triumph. I will divide up Shechem and measure out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the helmet of my head. Judah is my scepter. Moab is my washbowl. I'll throw my sandal over Edom. Shout out Philistia because of me. Philistia or whatever because of me. Who will bring me into the besieged city? Who will lead me to Edom? Have you yourself not rejected us, God, and will you not go out with your armies, God? Oh, give us help against the enemy, for rescue my man is worthless. Through God, we will do valiantly, and it is he who will trample down our enemies. The word of the Lord. Praise be to God. All right, folks. How's it going? God bless you all. Can I get a random Bible verse you love? Matthew 6:33. Seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. That's the one that comes to mind. Also, Psalm 23. The Lord's my shepherd, I shall not want. And then, is it verse 6? Which says, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Wait, what part are we at? We just finished Psalm 60, which is our last psalm of the night. How's it going, Christian? God bless you and welcome in. Yeah, folks, here we are. What is a psalm? A psalm is a prayer or a song of praise. It's written mainly by David, King David, back when he was upon the earth and, you know, he loved God with all his heart, so, yeah. He decided to dedicate his life to praising the Lord and praying in times of need. So, yeah. For example, Psalm 60, David fought these various tribes and he killed 12,000 people in Edom, or of Edom, in the Valley of Salt. So, Yeah. Uh, by the way, God bless you on Metro, Royce, and Stone, and Xavier, and Mayho, or whatever your name is, and Ayo, Greco, and Christian. God bless each and every one of y'all, and thanks for tuning in. All right. So 60 is um his I'm guessing David's army failed actually. So it's evident by the context. God, you've rejected us, you've broken us, you've been angry, restore us. So this is after David's army got defeated. So it's praying to God, you know, why did you allow this? Why did you not allow us to be successful in battle? What have we done that we have been unfavorable to you? That type of thing. Um, David loved God with all his heart, but he was still a sinner, just like many of us. He indeed was. And I think this comes maybe or maybe not, I can't remember, but it might have come after David committed adultery. I'm just assuming, but I know I read the books of First Samuel and Second Samuel, but I do not recall whether David had committed adultery yet with Bathsheba at this point. So, but in all cases, David's army was destroyed, and David says that God is angry with his people over some sin that has committed, which if it was after the adultery sin, then that would have been the sin. So it's praying for mercy upon the defeated army because, of course, they lost in the battle. Um, but through what he says in verses 6 and 7, God has spoken in his holiness. I will triumph, I will divide Shechem and measure out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is also the helmet of my head. Judah is my scepter. So God controls all the land. So it's basically this psalm, what it's trying to say is God controls the lands, the earth, and all in between. So God's not blind. Oh, oh goodness, sorry, folks. But yeah, so it's asking God to look upon with favor on this land that has been defeated. So, yeah. Um, so yeah, that is Psalm 60. Um, a prayer, or, I think it's asking questions to God. Why did you allow this to happen? That's something. It's a prayer of asking a question to describe it. Thank you, Christian. For a moment, I thought my allergies or your allergies got transferred to me. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Oh, by the way, guess what's playing on KBNJ? Oh, wrong. There we go. It's finally playing. That's it. Are you a girl? 1 HP survivor. God bless you and welcome in. And no, I'm not a girl. I just have long hair. So, yep. Desperate, desperate. Oh, I need heaven, and I'm. You know, when I hear that word, I have to say the full lyric. Desperate, desperate. Oh, I need heaven, and I'm. So that's another gypsyism. You know, for awk, awk means okay. OCK. That's how you pronounce okay if it was one word or one syllable. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you. Were you looking for a girl? I'm just curious. There's somebody on Instagram who wants to make a fan book or something for Jamie. So, um, she was on Instagram saying, "Don't tell Jamie, but I'm gonna make a fan book. If you want to go in, just click the link and fill out the form on Google Docs, you know." So I have, you know, volunteered to give some of the photos that I have taken of her during the concert, and also my thoughts. The one thing I will say though is I did not mention the fact that the day before the concert at 4:30 a.m. I woke up and then waited 50 minutes to find Desperate, and everything was complete there. Oh, yeah. I said Paramount Skydance was desperate, desperate. Oh, I need heaven, and I to acquire Wonderful Discovery. Sometimes I could be a little bit snarky, at least in this case. Oh, man, has one of the weirdest playtimes. It can't make up its time whether it wants to play at 2. It should have played at around 2 p.m. because it played at 8 a.m., I believe. I could be wrong. Yesterday. But it played at 10:36 p.m. It only plays one day sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't even play, so yeah. You're pretty big. Well, God bless you, April Fools, and welcome in. Or should I say, Randy? How's it going, bud? The episode dropped on Monday. That's right, folks. If you want to catch that episode, I have linked it in my posts. So, you know, I'll drop the link in the chat so y'all can watch that. And, you know, if y'all want to check on that, uh,
I've got the link. We discuss one of the biggest mergers in recent times that's happening right now. There it is. Check it out. I'll pin that. And yeah, folks. If you remove the D from desperate, you would get the esperate, which is a word in Spanish that means wait, or you wait, wait yourself. Not like body weight, but wait time. Um, Here's a fun fact. Right before this stream, I was spending quite a bit of time, um, unfollowing a bunch of Instagram accounts that I followed. Many of them were just uh, different people who were um, there were people who I didn't know. They were just some famous accounts, and yeah, it's a little over an hour long, so it'd be best to listen to it while driving, running track, or cleaning a house. Oh yeah, it's an hour long, so um, be sure to be wide awake if you want to catch these things, these topics that talk about. It's much pollen. Ooh, baby. I I just said baby, but there's no babies in here, so I meant to say, boy, I am thirsty. The Dallas Stars lost, I believe it was 2 nights ago, but they still clinched a playoff spot because the Utah Mammoth defeated the Kings. I'm not sure how that works, but, well, maybe I can know how that works, but yeah, the Stars clinched a playoff spot even though we didn't earn it that night. And I'm pretty sure the San Jose Sharks are on their way out of the playoffs. Well, they're not even in a playoff picture, but they still, I think, are very well on the path of elimination. God got me through the business card fiasco. The new remade ones look much better than the trash ones, um, trashed out ones. Sorry, I originally got. Praise God, hallelujah, amen, hallelujah. I thought I was going to have to pay again. Yeah, um, I'm glad you got that taken care of. Yeah, another $100 or $200 or whatever. Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm glad that's over with. Now, the Stars are taking on the Islanders. Hmm. Well, are the Islanders? Oh yeah, that's right. I think on Thursday, um, I don't think there's any. Uh, well, let's see, NHL on ESPN or oh, oh no, it's the Wild versus the Panthers, and then the Edmonton Oilers take on the Golden Knights. All right. Um. By the way, if you're wondering if why I'm home, it's because I one of my professors is not having class this week. So, because of that, I am available for the rest of the week and I have no, what's it called, in person classes. They're either on Zoom or I have one that's online. So, yeah. So I get to be home for the rest of the week. Praise the Lord. Here's the TNT schedule. Let's look at that. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. Hold on. There we go. This back to YouTube thing, it's highlighted in blue, so you get tricked easily to, select that. Tomorrow, oh, here's a good one. Bruins versus the Sabres. I think that's the one I want to do. Bruins Sabres. I think that's one I want to stream. And then for April Fools, we've got the Ducks and the Sharks. And then April 5th, it's during Mass. Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, wait, it's Sunday here. BMS. I guess the Stars are not getting any other nationally televised games for the rest of the season. At least that's what I think. I'm probably wrong. Or some other games on streaming, who knows? But yeah. Anyone? Honestly, sorry. Um, yeah, I want to watch the Sabres on TNT. Um, the Buffalo Sabres, they could. Apparently, they won't be able to clinch a playoff spot until the 28th or something. Although that might have changed. But yeah, the Sabres, they're hot. They're on fire. Oh, and the Hurricanes lost. So the Buffalo Sabres could jump ahead of the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh man. You know the crazy part? When the moment I finally get great sleep, um, instead of, you know, you'd think you'd feel energetic, but I'm just having some weird like migraines or stuff. somebody called them migrations, but no, migraines. Like, part of my forehead starts throbbing in pain. Like this part right here, it's just pulsing right now a little bit. And it wears me down. If you have a spare moment this weekend, would you like to have a call maybe on Friday evening? Maybe. Uh, yeah. Gonna have to spend our time until 4 a.m. So, but no. If you want to have a call, we'll have a call. Just let me know. ESPN is being a bully. It seems like they're hogging all the NHL telecast rights, and they're supposed to be equal with TNT. Yeah, well, this year ESPN is going to broadcast the Stanley Cup Final, and then the next year TNT. So yeah. But in all cases, the streaming part, that's interesting. One. It's a pace of good cop, bad cop. TNT is good cop, and ESPN is bad cop. I agree with Gary Bettman 1,000,000% about how he feels about Paramount. I'd love to see the NHL make its way to CBS. Me too. And y'all know how I felt about that. I've been dealing with head fatigue and slight headaches myself again, as well. Yeah, it wears us down when you feel those instances of tiredness. Like, even if you have a great sleep, it wears you down badly. I wish I could find some sort of lasting relief, but yeah, I don't know what to do. ESPN would keep their telecast on the network and not. If ESPN would keep their telecast on the network and not make them exclusive to ESPN, I would have a different opinion. I'm hotly upset with ESPN being so greedy. NHL coming to CBS will be a huge win for the NHL. Being almost strictly on ESPN Plus is not exactly a boon for them. Not everyone subscribes to ESPN, but many can get the ESPN network on cable. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking if when this merger closes, what I believe is CBS will delegate some of the NHL games to CBS Sports Network. I just realized that. Kind of like NBC did with NBC Sports Network, the cable TV channel. And, kind of like ESPN is broadcasting on ESPN and some of it on ESPN Plus, or not ESPN Plus, but ABC, and then ESPN, the cable network, and then ESPN Plus. Well, that's another different thing that is not exactly ideal. NHL's going to CBS is a win for everyone because CBS broadcast network that anyone can get without cable. Yep. Bettman's going to do whatever he can to work out something to get NHL on CBS. That's the main reason why he has been a big fan of the merger. Yeah. That's undoubtable. And I think this extended option of broadcasting is great coverage for the NHL. Instead of just being limited to one network.
like TNT, it's good, but not everybody can even go to TNT if they don't have a cable subscription, you know? So it'd be awesome if Disney would consider airing NHL games on ABC or do a simulcast for ABC on ESPN on ABC. ABC doesn't really have much to offer in terms of sports to beat, so why not? Well, actually, they do some games on ABC. So Hockey Saturday is a ABC thing. Or is it? Yeah, I think it's Hockey Saturday, right? So if I'm not mistaken, they broadcast on Saturdays on ABC, especially late in the season. That's when they broadcasted the most. The NHL with the leeching coverage it deserves if they can air games on a broadcast network. CBS and Paramount is the answer to this dilemma. Yep, for sure. Um, so I wonder what the MLB thinks of the whole Paramount and Warner Brothers merger. Because remember, TNT and TBS, they also broadcast the MLB. So that's another thing. And the MLB, they got NBC, they got ESPN, and now they're going to push the opening game on Netflix. Out of all services, Netflix. Yes, there's some games on ABC, but ABC in general is not a sports focused network. CBS, NBC, and their district cousin Fox do all better when it comes to carrying sports in general. Yeah, I guess so. Um, Let me see if I can look up on Dish on my Dish schedule as I see the Matrix Resurrections played on TNT after the Wild Lightning game. Um, Let me see what we have on. Well, Stephen Colbert. Colbert, who won? But Colbert. Um. Oh wait, I'm looking at CBS. I want ABC. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Deputy, all that. Yada yada. Good Morning America. Live with Kelly and Mark, The View. ABC 39 Western News, Jeopardy, GMA3, Tamron Hall, Inside Edition, General Hospital, Live at 5, that's news, ABC World News, Shark Tank, The Greatest Savage, American Apid Elementary, and Scrubs. So that's some of the program that they have right there. And 911 Nashville, Grey's Anatomy, like Nightline, Celebrity Jeopardy 2020. Interesting. Since TBS carries MLB, they too will have a good path to CBS once they become corporate siblings. However, their contract with Fox might not allow them to, at least right away, carry MLB. The only show I watch on ABC 13 is Jeopardy. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Let's look at that. The agency. Yeah. So that's some of the programs they have on ABC 13. Um, you know. Jeopardy does air around 1:30 a.m. every day except weekends. Wow, that late. But mainly they're Jeopardy at 11 a.m. every weekday. Hmm, that's interesting. 11 a.m. Do you think people would continue to watch Jeopardy in its current form or not? What do you think? Jeopardy's 1:30 a.m. time slot was once to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire until it got canceled back in 2019. Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of game shows, another game show I think was on ABC was the new version of Press Your Luck. What else? Jeopardy's one of the highest rated syndicated programs, so yes, people still watch it. Okay, then. So I know Jeopardy is untouchable. Hold on. Let's check the syndication ratings. One is Win, two Jeopardy. There's the Nielsen ratings. Oh, total is the Oscars. Broadcast at the Oscars, followed by ABC World News Tonight. World Baseball Classic in terms of cable, and then the five. And syndication, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Family Feud, Judge Judy. CBS Media Venture pretty much dominates syndication right now. Yep. It used to be called CBS Television Distribution when it merged with King World. And before that, it used to be called CBS Paramount Television after it was for a number of time of years, Paramount Television, which before that was Desilu Productions. Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, both from I Love Lucy. Mm. Yep, that's what I said. King World merged with CBS Paramount Television to form CBS Television Distribution. It's been reading since. Uh, sorry, I have. I had a big itch in my mouth or my ear. Sorry. Um, Judge Judy has been in reruns since 2021 when the show was canceled. So this very day, syndicated reruns are still bringing in ratings and viewership. And since CBS's contract with Sony doesn't expire until 2027, it means that at least for the first year, Wheel and Jeopardy will be syndicated through the Paramount Warner Brothers. So if they still had the CW, they could have called themselves CW or something. Okay, well, I'm glad to report that this migraine of mine has subsided. It only took a matter of only a few minutes to, for it to subside. It probably will return, but at least I'm all right for now. They'll own 25% of the CW when the merger closes. The individual 12.5 stakes that Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery will own will become 9-1. 25. I'm thinking if they sell their stakes in the CW, they will they'll end up renaming CW to NBS, Next Star Broadcast Network, if they sell their stakes, the remainder of their stakes to Next Star. I have a hunch that the company will probably sell the stake to Next Star, viewing it as a non-core asset and officially ending Paramount and Warner Brothers' ownership of the CW. Yeah. Then they could create a new CW. Since it's a minority stake, I didn't include it on the graphic among the network's logo on the podcast graphic. Okay. Yeah. How's that merger going, by the way? Let's look. Next Star with Tecna. Nexstar to operate Tecna as subsidiary business while lawsuit proceed. It's almost like a versatile history. The Warner Brothers network was owned by Time Warner 75 and Tribune 25. Tribune gave the Warner Brothers network a huge footprint because they own most of its affiliates. Fast forward to today, Nexstar, Tribune's successor, owns 75% of the CW, with Paramount and Warner Brothers owning the remaining 25%. It's like things went reverse. Yep. They're undoing the changes. That's what's happening. Next are still all of these former affiliates to this day, which have been CW affiliates since 2006. 2006. That's the uh, that's 1 year after the NHL changed from CCM to Reebok in terms of their jersey manufacturer. First, CBS and WP have failed networks. What do? They merged them into one. Now, those two companies themselves are combined as a whole. Bam. So, by what time do you believe this merger will be completely finalized? So that's one. And two, will the transfer or that comes with part of the merger be like, okay, we get Warner Brothers Pictures, and then after a few months we get TNT, and then we get later HBO, or is it just going to happen as one consolidated merger at once instead of being a bunch of split mergers combined as one? You know what I mean? I think the merger will probably close sometime early next year or near the end of this year. Okay. WGN is the only exception. They were a CW affiliate for nearly a decade, then they went independent for a short time, and now that Extra owns them. They went back to being a CW station. Wow. Unreal. So they drank their own vomit, I guess. Well, they started out independent, then were affiliated with CBS and Dumont, and then back to independent 56 to 95, and then 95 to 06, the WV, and then CW 2006 to 2016, and then from there onward, they were independent, and now their affiliation is the CW again. I think with the third quarter of 2027, soon to merge has closed early, we'll see the changes. For example, it took Nissi over a year for them to bond both of their syndication to one. Similarly, when Warner Media was under TNT, it took them over a year for them to organize their division, which resulted in the dissolution of Turner. Yeah, Turner. I remember Turner. They were involved in a lot of, you know, Hanna-Barbera stuff. Paramount and Warner Brothers Studios are expected to remain separate and independent. Yeah. So, but the merger will. Hanna-Barbera was acquired by Turner before the merger with Time Warner, hence why TBS and TNT had aired cartoons in the 90s. Makes sense. Now, when the merger happens, will they be acquired piece by piece? As in, first they acquire, let's say, TNT, and then they acquire HBO, and they acquire Warner Brothers Pictures, or will it be will it be finalized, and then all of a sudden everything will be acquired? Just curious. Cartoon Network began as a block of TNT cartoons, were a staple on TBS as well when TNT spun off Cartoon Network, and there's no cartoons on either network. So instead of watching TNT, they've had to go on to Cartoon Network. Oh, by the way, did TNT or TBS air any type of... Actually, let me look this up. Adult Swim. One of the weirdest, wackiest channels that exists. Adult Swim. It formed in 2003. So, when a merger happens, they'll acquire everything at once. Paramount will acquire Warner Brothers Discovery and basically swallow the company whole when WBD. So, then it will be dissolved and its assets dispersed. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Adult Swim. Did. I never knew why Adult Swim never spun off from Cartoon Network into its own network. I mean, it should. I wonder why. Well, actually, since Cartoon Network's aura has declined, unless they want to rerun syndicated programs. Other than that, if they don't want to do that, they may as well rebrand as Adult Swim and just... I don't know, actually. I don't watch Adult Swim anymore, but back in the day, they used to have programs like King of the Hill, and they probably still do. King of the Hill, Robot Chicken, and Family Guy, which the only one that I can get behind is King of the Hill. Other than that, yeah. And the merger Company A buys Company B and the absorbs Company B. Company that is dissolved. Company B and then is all its assets are dispersed among Company A, and then the stocks from both companies get swapped for the newly merged company. Yeah. So that's how it works, huh? All right. King of Hill is a major staple on Adult Swim. Yep. I tell you what, I sell propane and propane accessories. That's what I get from Hank. And another thing that he says that I won't say on here, but yeah. They did? Whataburger with Disney for King of the Hill. Wow. The crazy thing is, if you'd have told me that Disney would somehow be connected to, King of the Hill, if you tell me back in the day that that would happen, I would not believe a single thing. That would be like craziness. I ordered the Hank Hill special when they offered it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I remember it now. Oh, wow. I think I forgot it. But yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, hey, Whataburger and King of the Hill, two Texas related properties right there. Bam. So yeah, it makes sense. It just it just didn't come to mind immediately. So yeah. Bam. Are you going to eat something? Well, Lance's comedic channel, God bless you and welcome in. No. I've got nothing to eat, at least for this moment, but yeah. Sorry to disappoint. Sorry. Our Hank Hill special when they offered it, mainly because the 20th Century Studios rebooted King of the Hill and Whataburger was promoted, being that the King of the Hill was always promoting Whataburger. Oh, that's sweet. Mike Judge from Texas and King of the Hill takes place in Texas. They often name drop Whataburger. Mike Judge, yeah. What? He was born in Ecuador? I did not know that. He was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador. She was born to Margaret Yvonne Nay Blue, a librarian, and Will James Judge, an archaeologist. At the time of his birth, his father was working for a non-profit organization. He was raised from Main Street in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he spent a small portion of his life working on a chicken farm. He attended St. Pius X High School in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a Roman Catholic school. Ah, I did not know that. He took math classes at the University of Texas, in Dallas, yes. What else? Oh, and now he lives in Texas. Okay. It's home in Richardson, Texas. Okay, sorry. What makes 4 out of 5 people extremely happy? Um, it depends, and answers are going to be different. But I guess peace, um, results, um, consistency, and the lack of worriness. So yes, he does live in Richardson, Texas. Now that I look at it, I did not know that he lived there, and I did not know he was born in Ecuador. That I did not know. Um, Judge was a former resident of Garland, Texas, which was what Arlen was based on, but more based on the Dallas suburb of Richardson. Mm. Yeah, he was raised in New Mexico, I think, but then lived for some time in Texas, well, in what's called Richardson, Texas, and now they live in Austin, Texas, apparently, and Santa Monica, California. And they previously lived in Malibu, apparently.
The King of the Hill parodied Luby. They called it Lulies. Ponchos who made an appearance in one episode. That's crazy. Oh man, my migraine is starting to come back again. Wait, is it a headache or sorry, a migraine or is it ice cream? I can't tell. I think it's both. Starting to feel a little bit like my eyes are drying out. That's probably me. I don't know. There's also another Libby's reference. One of the characters' name is Luann Platter. The main plane at Luby's. Ooh. Did you have ice cream? Um, ice cream? Nope. I have not had any ice cream in. I think I think it was last month or so, or early March, when my dad wanted to invite us to an ice cream, and I had a cone from Dairy Queen. But no, I have not ice cream. A Luann platter and Luby's is basically an entree with two side orders and a roll. Gotcha. I always got chopstick as my entree with mashed potatoes and brown gravy. And mac and cheese as my two sides. Mashed potatoes with gravy, that hits 95% of the spot with mac and cheese. Or mashed potatoes and, you know, oh wait, but I was gonna say coleslaw, but that's more suited, I guess, for um, brisket slash ribs. So one day I tried to get steak at a barbecue restaurant, which apparently they serve steak and chicken fried steak, but apparently they only serve it on Fridays, which is the sad part. So I wasn't able to get steak then, but at least I did get some, you know, some what's it called? I was able to get some barbecue chicken, which was a consolation, but you know. You know, oh, KFC has a
country fried steak dinner that comes with mashed potatoes and coleslaw. That sounds good. Country fried steak. I love to eat. I may be starting serious and a little bit bossy, but good food makes me feel great. Yeah. I personally enjoy food as well, but I enjoy it too much. I enjoy it to the point where, I'm starting to slip up in my weight. That's not good. What is my mom making? Oh, my mom's making popcorn. Good evening, friend. How's it going, Michael King? God bless you and welcome in. Hello, that's why food is such a common topic. I'm actually losing weight and having trouble finding a pair of pants that fits me right. Hello, ooh, you're losing weight? Wow, wow, you're doing a lot better job than me then. I tried Chick-fil-A new jalapeno sandwich the other day. I would say it was pretty good. I have zero clue how I'm losing weight, especially the way I eat. Well, it's probably your metabolism working greater than mine. That's all I can say. Yo, you know how you always talk about what happened on January 30th, 2009? I'm pretty sure you know already. Well, my January 30th, 2009 is going to be February 19th, 2026. That's what it's going to be for quite a while, if I'm being honest. I just realized that. Onions, which I hate, make some folks cry. I make jalapenos cry. Whoo! Spicy. Apparently, there's a guy who makes onions cry. Now let me look at the title, man. Now, let me go. Uh, well, not the title, but oh, here it is. How to actually make onion made. All right, here it is. I'm gonna send this to you right here. That sounds like. I still remember what I ate that day. Spicy chicken tenders and mashed potatoes. He was also eating the exact thing I had. Yeah. That sounds like a Chuck Norris rest in peace show. Chuck Norris makes onions cry. Oh. So so is this Walker Texas Ranger who was actually in this clip? No, it's not. But it's Charlie from Moist Critical, also known as Penguin Zero. But in all seriousness, yeah. Rest in peace to our friend Chuck Norris. He was devout Christian, and although I do not know the rest of his life, I know that he was deeply loved and deeply respected and celebrated. May he rest in peace and be in heaven when all's said and done. That clip shows how onions are diced up and then processed to the factory. Yeah, check out the commentary. Here's what he says. Hold on, let me show you.
Onions don't make me cry when I eat them. I make onions cry with glass and nails. Onions don't make me cry when I eat them. I make onions cry when I eat them. I've been eating onions since I was a baby.
That's what the clip says. Of course, you can't see the clip on the screen, but that's what it just said. His commentary is cracking me up. Saying such bold things, and my goodness. Um, I mean, if he can make onions cry, then he could surely make me cry, I guess. I can't stand onions. They're a huge bozo no-no for me. Um, I don't mind onions as long as they're not raw. Unless they're in tacos, which is the only place I put raw onions. But it has to be cooked. Onion rings, for example, I don't eat them often, but I I don't mind onion rings. They're good. Um, Onion rings are an exception, though. I can tolerate onions. Yeah. For me, it's not so much, onions are repulsive, but onions are just not my. Um, they're not that appealing to the level of, broccoli, even. Yes, I enjoy broccoli. Broccoli and beef, broccoli and chicken, that's some stuff I eat in in the Chinese buffet. Whataburger has the best onion rings in the world. I also like Burger King's with their zesty sauce. I was a weird kid because I actually liked eating broccoli as a kid. Still do, especially with either soy sauce or cheese sauce. Apparently, back in the day when I was a very young kid, I loved broccoli. And then came a moment where I hated it. But now I enjoy broccoli, especially if it's mixed with beef and chicken. As a kid, I called broccoli little trees. Actually, the word broccoli is Italian. And let me pull up the dictionary. Broccoli is plural of broccolo, which is a cabbage, sprout, or head, diminutive of brocco, shoot, or sprout, which comes from brachus, pointed, sharp, projecting buck tooth. I heard that it was from brachium or something, which meant branch or tree. But yeah. Now, what's one vegetable I hate eating? Hmm. Let me think. Well, tomatoes. I'll say this about tomatoes. I wish that they were more flavorful. They don't have enough, I don't know. They don't develop a lot of flavor, I feel. I knew it was a plural word, but I could tell it's an Italian word. It tastes great as those teriyaki chicken balls they used to have a chicken jack in the box years ago. As far as I know, onions are the only vegetable I abhor greatly. I can't stand raw onions overall. Yeah, raw onions, unless it's in tacos, get out of here. Oh, my battery saver warning is coming in. Kale, spinach, lettuce, chard, collard greens, arugula, watercress, bok choy, cabbage, endive, carrots, onions, garlic, potatoes, sweet potatoes. For some reason, sweet potatoes caught me off guard. Nowadays, well, I could see myself getting used to them, so. Beets. Beets I haven't had in a while. They could throw me off, maybe. Turnips, I don't think I've ever had a turnip. Radishes, oh man, radishes, they taste like a slightly naturally spicy without the capsicum, uh, spicy version of water from another person's sink. That's what they taste like. They taste like if you go to somebody else's house and have water from the sink. That's what it tastes like. Ginger, it has its own spice, but I could get around it. Turmeric, sure, I guess so. Celery, yeah, or celeriac or whatever that is. Shallots, broccoli, cauliflower. I can't stand fried cauliflower, I'll be honest. Unless it's fried in tempura, then yeah. Brussels sprouts, asparagus, what else? Tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, zucchini, eggplant, green beans, okra. Huh. I also love sweet corn. Oh yeah. Sweet corn is awesome.
for sure. Yep. What else do we've got? Zach Wilson is on the Dolphins. Okay. I'm just going to check out some NHL standards. Tomorrow we're going to a restaurant called Kelly's Country Chicken. We've been eating for years and have planned chicken fried steak strips with a side of mashed potatoes. That sounds good. It sounds real good. Hmm. Tomorrow, well, I'm back at home because my professor decided I'm not, or he had a conference probably or something, so he's not going to be here for the rest of the week. So I have no in-person classes, so I get to stay here at home for the rest of the week and stuff. Um, yeah. So tomorrow I have no clue what I'm gonna eat. I guess I'm just gonna have food from over here, and I guess I'm gonna eat here at home. Other than that, it's always nice when you get to stay home for a while. Like today, I didn't have to go out on business. Yeah, that's great. Whenever you do head out in the wild, it's it feels good after a while, but then it gets slightly monotonous, I think. Well, I mean, it could be the same. Who knows? I don't know. It's just, thank God that we're able to be here with our family instead of, you know, being left there to dry. Um, what time is it? Okay, it's 11:54. All right. 11:55 now. I know what you mean. This is one of the reasons I went to school for short tenure at HCC 7 years ago. A decision I regret, as you know. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't have that experience in Victoria College, VC. Um, I actually enjoyed, being out there and listening to the radio. I was listening to Kite, as you may know. By the way, you want to guess what song I'm listening to? It's not one of the songs that I listen to now. But, yeah. Okay, here's the song I'm listening to. Heart Alone. This song has an epic um, guitar solo. This is Alone. It may not be the same level as Freebird, obviously, but it still sounds really good. Yeah, I've been looping this solo for who knows how much time. All right, that's enough. Yeah, that was what I was listening to. Heart Alone. Of course, the message of the song may not be the most thrilling. It might be, I guess, the most depressing of all the songs that I listen to, pretty much. But, you know, when it comes to pop music, I don't usually pay attention to the message behind the song. I just pay attention to the instrumental. My friend Adam, he says instrument. So, all my guesses were wrong. LOL. It's all right. Freebird was on the Eagle yesterday. I love how they play the entire song. When the spot plays it, they cut out a good chunk of the guitar solo. Yeah, that's bad. A Freebird plays the spot? I didn't know that. Yeah. Jack FM is on and off sometimes. Sometimes they keep the guitar solo, sometimes they remove, or I mean, not the guitar solo, but uh, um, sometimes they may play the entirety of a song. Sometimes they will, you know, leave parts of it alone or off. Goodness. Speaking of heart, Never is playing on 98.7 Jack FM. The guitar solo is the best part of the song. Honestly, every time I hear the song, I can't help but picture that scene from the novel in my mind. For me, sometimes I picture this. Let me show you. KCSM 1989. It's from another time, but I have this in mind. Not the audio though, but well, I'm gonna play it without audio, but the visuals basically. I don't know why. I know this is California, but it reminds me of Texas for some reason. For some reason, I always picture this to the when it comes to the climax of the song. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Left It in the River, that sounds like a Left It in the River sounds like a good campfire song. Me playing the live found a guitar with you know who standing there jamming out with me and adding vocals. Oh, to remove this. Yep. Um, probably lose my voice. That well, part of my voice. It's the countdown that makes you think of the climax of the song. Yep. The visual of it just in what looks like 15 frames per second animation of the state map or whatever animating with a grid, then panning down flat, and then the city skyline trails in, and then the words come in, and the logo concludes. That thing. Alone. I love Alone. Alone and These Dreams are my favorite songs from Heart. You might call it basic, who knows, but it is my favorite. I remember back then when I listened to music for like 24 plus hours, those two songs used to be part of my listen. So, yeah, it makes a good New Year's Eve song. One that can be played as the transition from the old year to 12 midnight happens. Bam. In Air Tonight and The Final Countdown are also great songs for that. Oh, yeah. Um, Freebird. I hope that Jack FM can return Freebird, or at least 98.7 Jack FM can bring back Freebird because that's a good song. Maybe they inducted into the National Recording Registry of the Library of Congress. Who knows? I used to do that back when I was in first grade. Mm. Jack FM in general is a great station in general. They have more variety than the spot has. Yeah. Let me see what their playlist is at this point. They got Magic Carpet Ride, Your Love, Counting Blue Cars, Renegade, Pumped Up Kid, some always something there to remind me. The Unforgiven, Africa, Don't Stop Me Now, Iris, In the End, Tainted Love, Money Walks, When I'm Gone, Go Your Own Way, You Get What You Give. Janie's Got a Gun, Intergalactic, Living on a Prayer, One Headlight, Hey Ya, Far Behind. I Write Sins, Not Tragedy, Super Freak, Learn to Fly, Three Little Birds, 3 a.m., Rock You Like a Hurricane, American Woman, Sweet Dreams, Take Me to Church, Tears for Fears, Shout, Semi-Charmed Life, Hotel California, Give It Away, Learning to Fly, Somebody's Watching Me, Some Dave Smooth, Tiny Dancer, You, Somebody Feel in the Sky, She's So High, Welcome to the Jungle, Gangsta's Paradise, The One I Love, Mr. Brightside, Who Can It Be Now, Never, and Walk This Way. And also, Spot also, fills the in void that was left by Cox after they ended. 69 points, so simulcast Eagle to get the areas from the argument. It also fills the void left after Cumulus ended Jack FM in Houston. You Got What You Give. That was one of the songs me and her played in a novel. Yeah. I think I've, got my own set list. If, I ever wrote a novel, and it involved me for casual reasons, deciding to perform. I think I've got my own playlist. There's quite a few songs. So it'd be on the surface. It looks like I could, Oh, guess what's playing on KBNJ? Left It in the River. Thing is pulsing. It's got a heartbeat. Cumulus has no plans for sale right now, but they are facing bankruptcy. If they imagine if either Odyssey, Hawks bought them. If you wrote a novel like mine where you take on a world with a formula of interest from your past, what songs would be on your set list? Well, I'm gonna get these right. Trying to think. Sweet Victory, Left It in the River has played quite a bit on KSBJ. I haven't heard Desperate at all recently. Well, Desperate does still play. It probably plays more commonly than on KBNJ, but you have to, you'd have to, I guess, DDR it correctly. You have to time it. Well, we're definitely going to put out there Desperate and Left It in the River. And for the last song would be God Be the Glory. As for some of the other songs, I'd have to pull up the Google to get a full list of songs, but ones I can think of right now: NSYNC, I Want You Back, and Bye, bye, bye. What else? What else? If Adam was there, I play Where's My Mind as well. What else? I'd play, let's see. Okay. Sorry. Sorry if I'm taking a long time. I play. I'm just thinking because there's a lot of songs that I've listened through the years. A few specific days where I listen to like hundreds of songs, it seems. So one song I definitely add there is this is a song that comes from uh sorry, just yeah, from Vision Quest. That's a movie where there's a wrestler. Um, this song made me cry. It's almost going to be 4 years when we hit June 6th, I think. It's Madonna, Crazy for You. That's one song I definitely add. It used to make me sad until that day, and then after that day, it no longer makes me sad. I actually kind of rejoice when I hear that. Well, rejoice, maybe not the right word, but um, I don't know any word that would be right. So that would be that. I guess I could throw in Vogue, although it sounds it may sound a little generic, but it is what it is. Then maybe Like a Prayer before that, who knows? Um, let's see. Bon Jovi, It's My Life, I That. Fleetwood Mac, Gypsy. Um, Taylor Dane, Love Will Lead You Back. Heart Alone and These Dreams. Journey Faithfully. And while we're at it, I think I'd also add Steve Perry with Oh Sherry. And then God Bless the USA from Lee Greenwood. I promise I'll get back to that in just a moment. You're the Inspiration, Chicago. What's Love Got to Do with It? Oh, before that, I'd add Look Away. And then What's Love Got to Do with It? Tina Turner. And then Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. And then I Don't Want to Live Without You. And then I'd add a song called after that, I'd probably play a song from Tom and Jerry the movie from the 90s called I Miss You and All of How Much We Give. And then there's other songs I'd add before that, but we'll keep it brief. But I'd also add a few other songs. I'll give you a small, or sorry. Then, well, there's some other songs that I would hear on on. They're in Spanish, so we'll get to that later. After they flicked back to regular music, from Christmas music, Desperate was hardly heard again. It's probably played during the wrong time, probably. I'll give you a spoiler. Jet Airliner. Big old jet airliner. In real life, I wonder if me and her performed it in front of her. I wonder how she would react in real life. She'd be like, hey, especially after she found out I liked her without me even admitting it. I think she'd be like, "Oh, that's sweet." At least that's what I think. Yeah, especially. All right. Um, yeah, 12:15, folks. Should we end it here? Um, mm, mm, mm. There I will go. Oh. What's playing on live or on KBNJ? What? How is there a typo? Oh, that's why. Okay, fixed. On the way. Oh, God, story played. She was nowhere near as bad as she portrayed in the novel. She's actually very nice. I just portrayed her that way because how I thought she was acting while I wasn't around. Well, man, I wish I knew her last name, so maybe I could, you know, poke some fun at her. Uh, Nothing related to this, just, uh, but, that's, um, eh, whatever. Just, hmm. Oh. Corpus Christi Council votes 5-3 to move forward with the mayor removal process. I just thought she's making me fun of me later. At least she's a beautiful woman, sweetheart, the beautiful woman. Man, people in Corpus are going nuts over their water. Um, Corpus, it's covered in the news, but they are running out of water. They approved a project that's going to give them temporary water solutions, but right now it's not looking good. Nonpartisan. Nonpartisan. Oh man. I may have spread my yawn. Kind of like yawns are contagious, I guess. In universe of the novel, she knows me going in, which always prompts me to yell at her. While they are running out of water, I hope the community remembers Jesus and prays for their city. Yeah, it's coming in the news quite a bit. They're starting to run out of water, and before they know it, they may not have any water left for commerce, for even survival. Who knows? Out of all things. Um, and yeah, if they don't get water soon, they'll be screwed. I think that's the reason that Hurricane Alley shut down. It was for the longest time, it was a water park. And I went for it the last time back in 2025 for Summer Bridge, which was awesome. So, yeah, I got to be one of the last people to get in that, get to that water park as my migraine starts coming back, or it's eye strain or whatever. But yeah, that's terrifying. Water's the number one physical source of life, but the number one source of life in general is God. Yeah. Yeah. I wish, like, and I get their sentiments, but um, all I see on the official like Corpus Christi Facebook discussion pages and outlets, news outlets, it's people complaining to no end, and I wish it didn't have to be that way. Like, I get their frustration, but um, I wish they were more optimistic. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope this city gets on its knees and prays for some sort of miracle, because God, He can move mountains, He can calm storms, He can raise people from the dead, and He came out of death's grave. So, um, if there is anybody who's qualified to, you know, to make these things, is makes miracles, I mean, that's got to be God. People aren't optimistic because they're in panic mode. Yeah, I know. Uh-oh, battery is low. My battery is about to die. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end it soon. Um, Hold on, I'm gonna have to find a battery charger that I've got here. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to coast and hopefully it doesn't shut down on me. If it suddenly closes, then please note that my battery has set, my laptop goes into hibernation mode or hibernate mode. Well, thankfully it's not. Thank you, Father, for today's stream. Thank you for Christian and for the rest of the people who join in. We thank you, Lord, for this time where we share your songs and your love and your mercy and your judgment. Lord, I pray for our people. I pray for those who are hospitalized and lost their lives in a New York incident with the airplane. May their families be in peace, and for the people who burned in the house in Minnesota, may they rest in peace as well, and their families be comforted. And Lord, for us sinners, let any sin that is lodged in us be excavated by the shovel, the diamond shovel that Jesus possesses. Because that's the one shovel that can dig out these sins deeper than the inner core of the earth. Lord, I thank you again, and I ask that you may bless every one of us who is having something to do during the week and all of our days, Lord. Thank you, and in Jesus' name, amen. All right. That is it. Now I'm going to take a bath and I'm going to go sleep. Hopefully I get good sleep again, because only until now have I gotten decent sleep. And even then, I've got some migraines. But all right, folks. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to continue with Psalm 61 tomorrow. So thank you. Sleep deep. Rise and shine bright. Good night.